Yeah, they don't get much rougher around the edges than me. Well, I can say one thing. And people have actually complimented me on this. For the 500 some shows, they say, you really don't swear a whole lot on your show. No, I don't. I really don't. Usually, when I start swearing, it's when I get set off something I read in the paper. But other than that, I try to run, and obviously, I don't go much over the one-syllable words, do I? Which, not being able to swear, that really does cut out and cut down on quite a bit on what I have to say. Uh-oh, here's a pretty interesting article. A woman who actually wrote this book. She's a psychologist, and she's untangled the web of cybersex. This story is written by Marilyn Elias. The computer is a tantalizing 21st century sex toy that benigns but can actually explode like a landmine, trashing the private work lives of a surprisingly large number of Americans, says psychologist Kimberly Young. Contrary to popular belief, cybersex addiction isn't a problem restricted to low-life losers. See, there you go. See, I knew there would be a category for me somewhere. It says, she reports, and she has counseled several thousand couples over the past 7 years at the Center for Online Addiction in Bradford, Pennsylvania. Her clientele is loaded with lawyers, doctors, CEOs, radio person. Oh, well, that's not. I just threw that in there anyway. And elected officials. These are people who go to church every Sunday. Well, see, I told you I wasn't in that group. At least 200,000 Americans have cybersex addiction. Say that 5 times fast. Says psychologist Al Cooper of San Jose, California. I think I actually had cybersex with him one day. Marital and I lost my place here. Or I lost my grip. One of the. So how do all these people get into trouble with cybersex? Young's new book, Tangled in the Web, Understanding. I could have wrote this freaking book several years. I don't know if they could have published it in Crayola. And spots all over the pages. Anyway, several years ago, cybersex mostly meant glancing at pornographic pages on websites. Yeah, why do that when you can post your own pictures now? Anyway, it says now countless erotic chat rooms beckon. They offer instant partners for mutual fantasies, intensified by webcams that deliver images. See, I'm getting all flustered here. Deliver images of the virtual lover's body. Streaming video of sexual material is widely available. There are live sex shows broadcast online. Well, there we go. I think we might have a new avenue for Beehive Productions, huh? Getting that revenue. It's all too easy to stumble across, Young says, and after such a habit takes hold, it's tough to quit. The net is that crack cocaine of sex addiction, she says. Oh, man. Now, here we go. Sexual addicts are increasing. U.S. therapists agree. Chalk it up to what Cooper calls that AAA engine. Access, affordability, and anonymity. Yeah, you don't need to slink around bars or in tacky parts of town, risking discovery. About 10% of the people who engage in sexual activities online would be addicts even without the net, Cooper's research suggests. An additional 20% start out dabbling, that's a nice way of putting it, but may get drawn in and wouldn't have developed a sexual addiction without the net. Therapists don't define addiction by the number of hours at the computer. Addicts can't control their habit, and it interferes with their personal and or work lives. Cybersex addicts typically have unmet sexual needs. Although their lives may look good to outsiders, they often have grown up in a strict family that repressed sexuality, Young says. Adults with a history of other addictions seems to be vulnerable. And midlife is prime time for sexual adventure, she says. Raymond Glad his name wasn't something else. Raymond, who's a 58-year-old client of Young, is a successful executive at Fortune 500 company. He donned the cyber fantasy persona of a buff 20-year-old college student, even posting a bogus photo of himself. I'm taking notes here. He attracted countless women, but he has an imagination that is way too wild for the lifestyle I lead, he told Young. Raymond says the net experiences made him feel young, although they're starting to disrupt his work and his home life. Craig, who is a 53-year-old computer executive, felt overshadowed by young hotshots on the job. He began to self-medicate with cyber porn, often at work, which eased his stress. I bet it did. Craig fought the problem, but had several relapses. And with Young's counseling, he became to see how he had bought into the parents' view that sex was merely a duty to have kids. Craig resented his domineering mother and saw his dad as weak. He acted out female domination fantasies online. Cybersex helped him rebel against the religious messages of his youth and also unleash leftover anger against women.